My nurse's bag slips out of my hand, landing with a loud thud on the floor. I stop halfway down the basement stairs, caught in my throat. The scene before me is one of unreality of brutality. The twins' beds, their dressers, even their toy boxes, are stacked in a soggy corner beside the water heater. Their best-loved stuffed friends, Milo's frayed teddy and Tessa's purple unicorn, are seated as guard on ill-construed beds. Cobwebs drape like evil strands across the ceiling corners. Above them, Mom, Dad. My voice bounces off the chilly concrete walls. The basement smells of detergent. Must and neglect a space never meant for children. The washing machine hums in the background. Indifferent, mechanical dot at the top of the stairs. My mother appears, balancing my sister Autumn's baby, Caleb, on her hip. Her face lights up at the baby's coos, then dims the moment her eyes meet mine. "Oh, Celine, you're home early." She avoids my stare. I gesture at the pile of my kids' stuff. My hand trembles, but my tone is acid. What is this? Why is Tessa and Milo's stuff on the floor? Dad intervenes behind her, arms crossed, judge of a court I never invited myself into. We had to make some adjustments. Autumn requires an office for her remote job, and Caleb is due a proper nursery, an adequate nursery. My words are knives, as a substitute for what? My children's bogus bedrooms? Mom exhales, a sound familiar to me since childhood, the sound of her dismay, coated in condescension. "Salini, please, Autumn requires stability." Caleb's at a crucial phase of his development, and my children aren't. My fists tighten. My heart pounds. Mom bumps Caleb higher as he cries. Her voice becomes crisp. "Your twins are lucky to have a roof over their head. Many children have less." The recollection hits me 3 months prior. Divorce papers fresh from the printer, my twins quiet in the back of the car as I assured them this house was temporary. I swallowed my pride to move back home, to help with groceries and bills, to hope this house remained a safety net. Then Autumn arrived, her marriage breaking apart, baby in hand. She was welcomed, fated. Caleb doted like a golden idol. My twins were shushed, chastised for laughing too hard, for being in ways that disrupted the precious baby. "You had no right to relocate their stuff without permission," I say, voice stronger now, edgy with anger. Dad's voice cools, that same old familiar in charge tone. "There are grandchildren, too. And your sister's case is more desperate. The basement is fine." "Fine?" I take 2 steps up, making him meet my gaze. "It's damp. Milo has asthma." "You really expect this to be sufficient for them? You're exaggerating." Dad snarls, as ever. Mom chimes in, near triumphantly. "Autumn is creating a life for Caleb. She requires this." And there it is. The truth I've always known, but never had the courage to say out loud. My children don't come first. They never did. My hand reaches for my phone. My fingers no longer shake. I recall Brenda, my coworker, whispering recently about her mother-in-law's empty rental cottage. "Emergency housing," she'd said. A lifeline. Mom catches on, her face furrowing. "Whatever. Are you doing? Making other arrangements?" My thumbs dance on the screen. The message reads, "Is that emergency housing still free?" Dad snorts, "Don't be absurd. Where are you going to go on a nurse's wages? You need us." Mom adjusts Caleb to her. Other hip, her gaze icy. "Autumn is family too, Celine. You can't ask us to treat her any differently just because you got here first." I laugh bitterly, the sound cold in the still basement. This has nothing to do with who was first. This is about respect, and my children are worth more than a basement. Autumn stands at the top of the stairs, guilt flickering over her face, covered up quickly with defiance. The twins will adapt. Children are resilient. My jaw locks. How convenient that resilience is only required of my children. Dramatic. Mom interrupts, the same old tired line. We're doing you a favor even having you here at all. A favor? The term tastes bitter on my tongue. I shop for groceries. I pay bills. I work the night shift so I can watch Caleb while Autumn gets her life together. And you call that a favor? My phone vibrates. Brenda's response, available immediately. Call me. A wave of relief washes over me. In that dim, smothering basement, I finally understand the reality unveiled. If I remain, my twins will learn to settle for crumbs of love, to think they are less worthy than others. And I will not give them that tale. I take up Tessa's clarinet case, dust it off, and stand taller. I'll be in the upstairs when the twins arrive home. We will be departing soon. I ascend the stairs by my quiet family, my voice serene, nearly icy. My children are entitled to windows. They are entitled to warmth. They are entitled to respect. And I am the only one who's going to ensure they receive it. That evening, the ceiling groans with each step above me, each creak a reminder of the decision already made. My children will not slumber in darkness, not while I still breathe. Asterisk Milo's cough finally subsides an hour ago. Now, his little body tucks up close around his battered teddy bear, as if grasping the only thing still unmarred by betrayal. Next to him, Tessa arranges her unicorn figures along the frigid cement ledge, pretending the basement is an adventure rather than what it really is. But I see the shine of tears she attempts to suppress, wiping them hastily when she thinks I am not looking. After I put them in bed, I head upstairs for water. My nursing habits never truly go dormant, even in the comfort of home. The house is quiet except for the hum of the fridge. Autumn's laptop remains on the kitchen counter, the screen dimly lit, the device left open. I'm reaching to turn from it when the new message alert appears. Her name is highlighted on the screen, blue text. Bubbles piling like depositions. I shouldn't look. But something draws me near the same drive that causes me to double check. A patient's chart when something doesn't feel right. Mom had said we could just stash them in the basement. Autumn's words glare at me, dated 3 weeks ago, dump my stomach. Lurches. Celine is working so much she hardly even notice. And the twins are accustomed to doing without. I press a hand against my mouth, stifling the gasp, fighting its way up. More messages. More scheming. More ruthless calculation. And then, your sister is such a doormat. Laughter emojis overwhelm the screen. The words blur as I cry stinging tears in my eyes, but I will not let them fall. This was not an impulsive decision. It was weeks of whispered plots concocted while I prepared dinner, while I folded clothes, while I babysat Caleb so Autumn could rest. A shout from upstairs. Caleb, my mother's voice, low and calm, after. Footsteps down the stairs. I move away from the counter, pouring myself a glass with shaking hands just as Autumn appears. Oh, you're still up. Her voice is not guilty, not apologetic. Does not recognize the knife that's been plunged into my back. She settles her robe loosely. Mom's with Caleb. He's teething. I know. I speak flatly, nearly as if a stranger. I've been administering him teething tablets during my work. Later, when the twins sleep in their basement beds, I sit across from my parents and Autumn at the kitchen table. Caleb leans against her shoulder, swaying softly. Their little group aglow under the kitchen light like some unattainable family. Portrait. I don't sit. I stand, arms crossed. My silence makes them talk first. The basement setup is temporary. Dad starts, not meeting my gaze, until we come up with something permanent. Permanent? I echo, my tone slicing through the air. What does that even mean? Mom fidgets with Caleb's blanket, her tone honeyed, practiced. Well, since Autumn's going to live here forever, we have to think about everyone's needs long term, indefinitely. The word hits me. Stability is important right now, according to my therapist, Autumn says gently, taking a sip from the mug Mom placed in front of her. Caleb requires consistency. And my kids don't? I snap, making Caleb move, Dad tensed. Don't be melodramatic, Celine. They are not on the street. Thanks to me, I shoot back. My portion pays over 1/3 of this home. That's when I notice it, the flash of discomfort between Mom and Dad, the sort of glance that warns there's more. Mom clears her throat. Her voice is insincerely soft, as if she's breaking news to someone she doesn't know. Regarding those donations, we decided it made sense to collaborate resources. Autumn is in need of assistance with Caleb's bills. Since you're already set up, the realization hits like a punch. You've been sending my money to her, not all of it, Dad mutters quickly. Just enough to help her get back on her feet, while my children sleep in a basement. My hands flatten against the table, steadying the rage coursing through me. Dad waves a dismissive hand, his voice cutting. If you're that unhappy, pitch a tent in the yard. At least the twins would have windows then. The resulting silence is oppressive. His mean joke lingers in the air like smoke. Even Autumn squirms, but not to come to my defense. None of them do. The ensuing days are a grinding, slow torment. Tessa's clarinet one day heralded is now off limits. Too loud for Caleb's naps, Mom rebukes. Perhaps next year you can attempt something less noisy. Her enthusiasm is shut down as noise. Milo becomes withdrawn. My boisterous boy who used to recite science experiments with shining eyes now merely shrugs when I inquire about school. His shoulders roll inward, as if shrinking to occupy less space. Kids are resilient, Dad replies, his go-to answer to every worry. But when I review Milo's inhaler log, my heart constricts. His use has doubled since relocating downstairs. The basement is not only unkind, it's hazardous. When the house finally grows quiet at night, I make my way to my corner of the basement. Behind a rakishly leaning bookshelf, my improvised bed sits and wait. I open up my banking app. The overtime hours, the lost sleep, the relentless grind, it's all tabulated here. With my savings and next week's pay, I have enough to cover first and last month's rent. Brenda's cottage is no longer a hope, but an escape. A lifeline. I look at the bright screen in the dark and ask myself, do I see them one final time? Do I just leave them in silence, letting them suffocate on the hollow echo of the allegiance they wasted? Either way, it is done. My children will not have to grow up thinking they must live in darkness. Asterisk the pipes in the basement clang and creak overhead, seemingly taunting me with their feedback, telling me what I should do, demand respect, or exit quietly, with my silence expressing what words never could. 7 days pass and weariness tugs at my bones after my third double. My scrubs stick with the day's weight as I force myself through the door, longing for rest. But a chorus of voices greets me, vibrant, lively. The living room is filled to capacity. Aunt Cynthia, Uncle Pete, a few cousins, all gathered, hovering around Caleb and his bouncer like pilgrims before an altar. Here she is, Mom says with a too-widened grin. Just in time, we were going to give everyone the grand tour. Autumn smiles, holding Caleb. I just can't wait for you to see his nursery. It's totally beautiful now. My gut twists. His nursery. My children's stolen bedroom. I track the parade up to the second floor. Their voices swell in wonder over the new paint, the bookshelves Dad put up, the hand-patched cushions Mom sewed herself. All the things Tessa had pleaded for. All the things Milo had requested. It's just what a growing boy needs, Aunt Cynthia states, tracing her hand across the top of the line crib mattress. Uncle Pete glances at me. Your twins must be very accommodating, letting their cousin have such a nice setup. The taste of iron floods my mouth. They didn't exactly have A choice. Silence drops heavy, broken only by Mom's quick recovery. We're planning to make the basement into a proper bedroom eventually, Dad adds, but first, we're redoing the kitchen. Autumn needs a proper workspace for Caleb's organic meals. I can't breathe. Walls close in. Later, when family laughs at dinner, I go downstairs. Milo's cough meets me before I can see him, ringing against concrete like a refrain of despair. He sits up, holding his inhaler. Mom, is dinner ready? Almost, buddy. I sit beside him, massaging his back as another cough seizes his chest. How's the breathing today? He shrugs, too old for 11, too tired for childhood. The same. Dr. Phillips said the moisture isn't doing us any good. I push a glass of water into his hands. We have another appointment next week. Laughter comes from upstairs, thundering down the stairs. Too far away. Too careless. Milo examines his inhaler, his voice tiny. I don't have friends over anymore. I feel a cold stop in my chest. Why not? He hugs his knees to his chest. It's embarrassing. Nobody else lives in their grandparents' basement. The truth cuts like a knife, cutting deep. 2 days before, I'd heard Tessa rejecting a sleepover, covering her embarrassment with a weak alibi. Her clarinet rests idle in its case now, music choked by Dad's edict that it was too loud for Caleb. You ought to come up for dinner. I coax Milo softly, messing with his hair. He nods his head. My grandma said my coughing bothers Caleb. I'll eat here. Something cracks within me. Not a break that can be healed, but a realignment, an ultimate cutting off. Later, standing on the staircase, I go rigid at hearing my name. Celine's working herself to death. Aunt Cynthia says curtly, her voice laced with worry. 16-hour days. It isn't possible to sustain. She needs the money. Mom comes back, brusque. Nurses who are divorced don't exactly have golden parachutes. She doesn't know. Each shift, each overtime has been leading up to something. My savings account swells in secret, brick by brick, the foundation of our freedom. 3 weeks, and I'll have enough first month, last month. Security deposit. Freedom. The next morning at the hospital, I tremble as I replace 4 bags. Brenda catches on. Your hands are shaking, she says softly. Tired, I lie. She looks around, then puts a folded piece of paper into my pocket. 3-bedroom on Maple Street. The owner is a friend of my husband. Not listed yet. He'll keep it for you if you're interested. Her eyes lock with mine, calm and gentle. Your kids need windows, Celine. The paper blazes in my pocket, the remainder of the shift up by Sunday supper. The house is occupied once more, Aunt Linda this time, forthright as ever. She sets her fork on the way down and fixes me with a direct look. Don't the twins complain about living in the basement? The room goes silent. My sister glares at her plate. Mom's smile freezes. What Linda is saying, Dad begins, grasping for control. Is they won't be down there much longer now? My voice cuts through the silence, quieter than I've ever heard it. That won't be necessary. We're leaving next week. Spoons clatter. A glass wobbles, spilling water across the table. Moving out, Autumn's voice hardens, her composure snapping. Dad's face darkens like a storm front. I've signed a lease. My words are firm, determined. 3 bedrooms. In the twin school district, you can't just make that decision. Mom splutters. I can, and I did. I face Aunt Linda, responding to her question straightforwardly. Yes, they mind. Milo's asthma has acted up due to the dampness. Tessa is ashamed to have friends over. They deserve better. Dad leans forward, his voice a low rumble. Money is the issue, isn't it? We can figure something out. I shake my head slowly, my own calm undeterred. This isn't about money. It never was. Asterisk, I lay my napkin on the table with care, as if it were the last sentence in a mean, long argument. It's not about money, I tell her, speaking over the hush. It's about respect. Exhausted later that evening, I dial Brenda's number, something I never thought I would ever call. She answers on the second ring. Brenda, I croak, my throat constricting. I don't know what to do. You don't have to explain, she murmurs. Of course you and the kids can stay here until your rental's ready. Guest room's tiny, but the pull-out sofa's okay. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering, she cuts in with determination. Then her tone becomes softer, weighted with conviction. What your parents are doing to you, to the twins? It's not right, Celine. The contrast knocks the wind out of me, Brenda, a colleague of only 3 years, opening her door without hesitation, while my own parents slam theirs with judgment. I steady my voice. Thank you, I whisper. For the first time in months, I don't sound broken. I move tonight like a woman peeling off shackles. I complete the lease application online, call the landlord, arrange for utilities. Each click, each acknowledgement is like removing bricks from a wall I hadn't realized was suffocating me. Saturday rolls around. The house is abuzz with gossip about Caleb's half-birthday. A 6-month milestone, complete with cupcakes and special Instagram filters. Their happiness is so obnoxious, so stupid, it's obscene. As they bicker over frosting colors, I escape. I fold Tessa's clarinet into its case and stuff Milo's favorite books into a suitcase in my room. Essentials only. The lease is signed. The keys are in my purse. Freedom is hours away. When I face around, the twins stand in the doorway of the basement, hesitation dancing in their eyes. Pack your backpacks, I whisper. Only what you'll need. For a few days, Tessa's eyes go wide. Milo relaxes his hold on his inhaler. Are we really going? Tessa gasps. Yes, I reply, and for the first time in months, the word is like sunlight. Tonight, everything changes at once. Their shoulders straighten, their chests lift. Hope, tentative but alive, breaks out on their faces at dawn. I wake them both softly. Tessa already dressed in her beloved purple sweater. Milo holding his inhaler, wide-eyed but awake. You're sure? He asks. I nod. Ready. By 6:30, Brenda's minivan sits in the driveway, its engine purring like a lifeline. We scramble to load the first boxes with speed, stealth. At 7 o'clock, we creep back to my parents' quiet house, still slumbering in their tower of denial. We're a unit fast, precise, no unnecessary motion. Take what's most important. I remind the twins. They go down to the basement, coming back up with treasures. Milo's science medals, Tessa's music books, the quilts my grandmother made that she left behind. With each descent upstairs, I see their spines growing longer, their steps more confident. They don't need me reminding them to stand up straight. They already do by 7:30. The minivan is full. I set my house key on the kitchen counter alongside. A note I rewrote a dozen times before leaving it blank. We found our own apartment. The twins need windows. Hours later, we're moving into our new apartment when my phone begins to ring. Mom, Dad, Autumn, repeatedly, like a cloud of hornets. Mom, are you going to respond? Tessa says, freezing with a pile of books in her arms. Not just yet, sweetie, I reply, my hands firm on the box I'm unpacking. For now, we work on us. When the shelves are stocked, the voicemails accumulate. I listen to them while the children organize their new rooms. Mom's voice, acid-tipped with outrage. Celine, this is unacceptable. You're traumatizing Autumn. Caleb can feel the tension. Call me immediately. Dad's clipped and cold. You've made your point. Now fix it. Family doesn't walk out like this. And Autumn, her voice dripping with wounded pride. You've betrayed us. After everything we've done for you. Each message steals my resolve, heat forging iron. Their words aren't about my children, they're about control. About losing their nurse, their babysitter, their scapegoat. I block their numbers, temporarily. My children and I require room. To breathe. To be without shadows hanging over us. That evening. The twins sleep peacefully in their new rooms, actual rooms, with windows that open to admit air that doesn't reek of mold. I sit amidst the stillness, my phone illuminating with a fresh message. Charge nurse position remains vacant. Willing to interview tomorrow? I look at it, heart pounding. The promotion translates to more money, but greater burdens. My children are finally free. Am I prepared to take mine as well? Asterisk Saturday morning, Brenda comes in like a general with reinforcements. Joanne from pediatrics and Marcus from the AA following behind her, their trunks filled to the brim with donations. A television set, a used couch, curtains that match Tessa's bedspread nearly by chance. We looted the hospital donation closet. Marcus smiles, unloading a sturdy desk for Milo. Families leave good things behind. Might as well go to someone who could use it. By Sunday evening, our apartment is different. Tessa has lavender drapes brushing against her window. Milo's books sit neatly stacked on his new desk, and the living room, small as it is, glows with a sense of home. A couch, a side table, a bookshelf filling up quickly with our treasures. Brenda flops onto the couch next to me, kicking off shoes. She, I whisper. To what? She demands. Exactly. The music envelops us, Tessa's clarinet floating from her bedroom. Sugary and unmarred, a song I've not been privy to for months. Milo hums in the kitchen as he sets out his rock collection on the sunny windowsill. His cough has vanished for the first time in far too long, his inhaler lying idle. Then my phone vibrates. A message on Aunt Linda's number, your mother's spreading. The news you broke down and kidnapped the children. Thought you should know. How are you actually? I respond with 2 words. We're fine. Then add, the twins have bedrooms now. With Windows. The responses come quickly: support, questions, muted outrage. The family tree is beginning to divide, and the truth is percolating through. 2 weeks pass, and a new message appears. This time from Dad. We need to talk. Can I come? Bye. I place the phone on the counter, observing my children dance through their sunny rooms. Their shoulders are unencumbered, their laughter open. Whatever is ahead, we will meet it together. 3 days pass before the doorbell chimes. I square my shoulders before I open it. Mom, Dad, and Autumn rigidly stand on the mat, the faces set, in masks of politeness. Mom hugs Caleb close to her like a shield. Dad holds a gift bag with cartoon dinosaurs on it. Milo loves them, but the action seems more tactical than loving. You didn't have to bring gifts, I tell them, moving aside. We thought the twins would like something from home, Mom says, her smile taut. This, I sweep my arm around, is home now. Autumn steps in last, her familiar commanding stride lost. Her eyes dart nervously across the hand-me-down furniture, the children's artwork plastered proudly across the walls. It's cozy, she says. Politeness from her is weird and cracked. Dad puts down the bag, hacking up a cough. We've been discussing Celine. We feel we may have acted too hastily with our plans. Hasty? I mouth the word as if tasting vinegar. The twins can share one of the upstairs bedrooms, Mom injects hastily, bouncing Caleb as though he were the fulcrum. We'd make do? Room sharing, you mean? I say bluntly. Better then. This situation, Dad grumbles, waving his hand vaguely. Around him. This situation, I repeat, where my kids breathe easily, sleep in actual rooms, and aren't treated like second-class citizens. Autumn's mask shatters. Punishing the entire family, she spits. The twins are missing their cousins. Caleb meets his aunt. I hold her gaze, unfazed as steel. My children aren't a form of punishment. And they're not babysitting for Caleb. The twins hear us and come over. Tessa curls her hand around mine. Milo lingers behind, clutching his inhaler like a good luck charm, his eyes suspicious. Want to see our new place? I ask softly. Their faces light with pride as I escort the group down the short corridor. I've taken the charge nurse job, I tell them over my shoulder. More money, better schedules. I open Tessa's door first. Lavender curtains, her clarinet stand where the sun shines on it, a just right desk for her homework and music. Brenda's daughter grew out of it, I tell them quietly. Then there's Milo's bedroom blue walls radiating with stars of constellation stickers, his telescope proudly propped at the window. There's a park across the street, he says, voice growing stronger. We can play soccer there. Mom's eyes soften for a moment. Then she marshals composure back into position. This must be pricey. My children are not bargaining chips, I say. Softly but firmly. They are worthy of as much respect as Caleb. In the living room, the twins glow as they tour their grandparents around the apartment, their pride unbreakable. Milo opens the pantry. See, he says, smiling. We even have a snack shelf all to ourselves. And we don't ask for permission every time we're hungry. He stops, taking out his inhaler from his pocket, holding it like evidence, and I don't cough anymore. Asterisk, and I don't need this anymore. Milo raises his inhaler as if it's testimonial in a court case. Since we came out of the basement, Dr. Patterson tells me that my lungs already sound better. The basement wasn't that bad, Mom answers reflexively, but her voice breaks when she looks at his face. Remember when I couldn't stop coughing? Milo speaks firmly now, though his voice is tiny. You said I was faking, for attention. Her eyes fall, and she juggles Caleb up onto her hip to escape his gaze. Tessa advances, her clarinet case clutched in her hand. We can play music anytime we choose here, she states. She puts the instrument together with expert ease and blows forth a ribbon of bright, assured sound that fills the apartment. Silence had been imposed on her for months. Now her music won't. Be silenced. Dad glares, face inscrutable. Autumn fidgets uncomfortably by the door, her phone clutched like a security blanket. At last she blurts, "Who is going to watch Caleb next Tuesday when you have your interview?" The music stops. Tessa puts down her clarinet, eyes widening as the realization dawns on her. Her aunt had always intended to keep me in the caretaker role. I don't blink. I'm certain you'll work something out, I say calmly. You're clever. A pause comes, jagged as shattered glass. Then tiny shifts occur, Dad swiping Caleb's diaper bag rather than passing it over. Mom reminding Autumn of the babysitting service. She'd spoken of cracks webbing out across their solid front. Standing at the door, Dad hesitates. Celine, may I have a word? I stall, feeling Tessa's hand clench on mine, Milo's protective look. Whatever he says, I already know. We've won the war that counts. Take us a minute, I say to the twins. Standing on the balcony, I gaze through. The glasses Milo gestures to the sight trees and sky rather than pipes and concrete. This apartment is not fancy, but it's ours. No apology, no gift package can erase that. The war is not over. Family wars never do end with a single victory. But for the first time in years, I'm writing the rules. 6 months later, the mortgage documents lay before me, a tidy line waiting for my signature. 6 months earlier, I would have hesitated, phoned my parents for reassurance. Today, my hand doesn't tremble. Congratulations, Miss Dalton, the loan officer says, pushing the keys across the desk. Chill metal lies in my hand. Keys to no prison. Cell, but to a 3-bedroom home with windows to welcome the morning light. Tessa plays her clarinet in the kitchen that evening. Milo constructs a volcano on the dining table. They don't waver or diminish when I enter. They keep going, confident, aware of their place here. Principal Hayes invited me to play advanced band, Tessa declares. Mrs. Wilson says my project has a good chance of taking first place. Milo inserts, cheeks red. May we paint my room blue this weekend? Actual blue, not Grandma's gray. My phone rings. Mom's number. I let it ring 3 times before answering a conscious decision. We'd like you and the twins for Sunday dinner, her voice states, gentler than ever before. Just us, your father's firing stakes. Just us, I say. Yes, Autumn returned to her condo. Caleb's nursery is vacant now. I take a breath, calm. We'll come, but we'll have to leave by 7. Tessa has band practice Monday morning. The old me would have bent. The new me sets boundaries. That's fine, Mom says. We understand. The next weekend, my little house overflows with warmth. Brenda comes over with a fern for new beginnings. Joanne gives me a welcome mat, Marcus a casserole. Laughter echoes through the walls as glasses are clinked. To family, Brenda says, the kind you find when you need it most. Tears burn, but they're not the ones you keep swallowing in pain. These are other. Mending dot we paint Sunday. Milo's room a rich blue, Tessa's a soft lavender. Paint dots our hair, our clothing, our laughter. I share with them about the college savings plan I've opened, about the BSN degree program I've signed up for. The house smells of fresh paint and lasagna, and my children argue over where to hang. Posters. Their voices ring with confidence, their bodies unbowed. 6 months ago, they were basement shadows. Now, they're sunlight dot, and so am I. You'll be the best nurse practitioner ever, Tessa says with a confidence that makes my chest ache in the best way. A knock at the door interrupts us. When I open the door, Dad is there, toolbox in front of him. His gaze rakes over paint-splattered walls, the jumble of brushes and drop cloths, the kids giggling behind me. For an instant, he appears to have entered a place he doesn't quite know. Thought. You might use some assistance hanging those bookshelves, he says, placing the toolbox down with slow deliberation. His voice mellows. I'm proud of you. Celine. The words hang suspended in the air, delicate, nearly alien. Part of me longs to believe them, to take this cautious olive branch. Another remembers the nights in the basement, the silence, the guilt. Stand there, stuck between old wounds and current power. And there is one question that remains. Are certain family ties worth fixing? Or better to invest your heart in the new, immovable bonds that surface when the world turns its back on? You?